Merkel pleads with Germans to avoid a last Christmas with the grandparents as country smashes daily death record. Germany was praised among European nations for its handling of the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. But on Tuesday it suffered its deadliest day yet, and infection rates are still rising. So what's gone wrong? Speaking in the German parliament Wednesday, Chancellor Angela Merkel warned that nationwide restrictions brought in on November 2 had not proven effective enough, with too many people now dead or in intensive care units with COVID-19. A day after the country reported a record 590 deaths, Merkel grew emotional as she appealed to her fellow Germans to keep one another safe by reducing their social contacts before the holidays, especially if they plan to visit older people. If we have too many contacts now before Christmas, and that ends up making it the last Christmas with the grandparents, then we will have failed. We should not do that, she told a budget session in the Bundestag. The chancellor added that the daily death toll was a price too high for keeping some shops open, including much-loved waffle and mulled wine stands in the festive season. There are still 14 days until Christmas, and we have to do everything we can to prevent exponential growth again, she said. Merkel urged federal state leaders to start the Christmas holidays sooner, on December 16 rather than December 19, to help people limit their contacts and allow them to isolate for longer before seeing older relatives. The chancellor also wants a full lockdown to be implemented for several days, possibly 2 weeks, after Christmas, in order to bring down infection rates. But for that to happen, she needs to get the leaders of all 16 states on side. As Europe's second wave of coronavirus infections gathered steam going into the autumn, some European nations, like France and England, imposed national lockdown measures. However, Germany's state and federal leaders agreed on lighter restrictions. A nationwide partial lockdown was imposed which required restaurants and bars to remain closed, but schools and shops remained open. People were urged to avoid travel, keep their contacts to an absolute minimum, and limit public meetings to no more than 5 members of 2 different households. These restrictions are due to be relaxed over the Christmas period in much of the country, allowing people to meet in groups of up to 10 people, not counting children. While some states, like Bavaria, favor stricter measures, others are opposed. Meanwhile, Germany is struggling to contain a surge in new infections, and death rates have continued to climb. The country suffered its deadliest day of the pandemic Tuesday, with 590 known fatalities, the Robert Koch Institute (RKI) said Wednesday. The previous record was 487 known deaths, reported December 2, according to RKI, the country's disease and control agency. The RKI also reported 20,815 new daily infections on Wednesday, about 3,500 more than the same day of the previous week. The total tally of COVID-19 infections in the country is now 1,208,000.